Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. I think we covered everybody. Tonight, we're going to be flying from the farthest north airport in the world in Canada called Alert. And we're going to be heading from there down to, I believe it's pronounced Thule Thule Air Base, but it's actually no longer that. It's a Space Force base. It's been upgraded to the U.S. Space Force in Greenland. It's only about a 2-hour flight. I'm going to be, like I said, engine and running live weather. Live time, because the sun never really quite. So it says, yeah, the echo was. Do I still have the echo on? Shouldn't be any echo. I think it was on because I had the my own stream up on my main computer. So it was echoing. That was my fault. Should be good now. Oh, let me just get a couple things out of the way. I gotta give my shout out to Stellar Custom Jewelry. If you ever need a custom piece, go there, check it out. And they will do an amazing job on any piece you want. They'll do custom work, they'll restore or replace or fix old work. He can do new work he can turn your idea into jewelry. He does not actually sponsor the channel. He just happens to be a very good friend of mine that owns the business, and I'm giving him a shout out. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he knows about my channel. But there we go. Icarus, buddy, good to see you down here on the runway. We're going to take off here shortly. Very shortly. I just got to get some music fired up. We'll get in the air. And we'll head out. See if I can't get the icing to stop. Let me know if the music's too quiet, too loud. To me, it sounds awfully loud. Let me know. That sounds better to me, but let me know if that sounds better to you. Haha, Discord and YouTube. Okay. I still was hooked in there somewhere. They say this is the northern airport in the world. It was founded in 1950 by the Royal Canadian Air Force. And it actually was involved in the very first fatality up here, which was Lancaster AG-965 crash, killing all 9 people on board. And the only other accident at this base was in 1991, C-130 Hercules crashed on a resupply mission and killed all 5 on board. Killed 5 people on board. Other than that, that's about it for this airport. It's used by the Canadian Department of National Defense and has a weather station and a northern alert station for missiles, and that's about it. Yeah, I know. I got all my heats on. It looks like it's gonna be. I was totally froze up sitting here on the runway. I check on my plane and my windshield's completely covered and I just can't see out of it. I have all my heats on, my bypass is on, this universal separator's on. I think we're good to go. Yeah, my brake's still on. We'll get rid of that. Get in the aircraft, run the checks real quick. Stir the pot. And let's get this bird in the air. Oh, I'm going to set my altimeter, not that it matters to you, but I'm going to be up around 8,000 feet tonight. You'll be at 8 feet. We know that. This is an extremely rough runway. Like, there's parts you think you might actually be in the air, and you're not, because you're going back down the other. You bump your way down the runway. It's awful. This thing is place absolutely terrible to take off from. Let's get the nav mode, autopilot, nav mode. vertical speed, and we'll put about a 600 foot a minute climb on this beast, and let the autopilot take over for a little while. Right out the door here. Put the gear up, which I should have done right off the runway. Flaps up. There's not a lot of world up. Some of this didn't load. It didn't load earlier when I was up here. I'm not sure how much of it's actually there anyways. We got to do something with this music in my ears. It's driving me nuts. There we go. So I hope everybody had an enjoyable weekend. We did hit 52 subscribers. It was up to 58, went back down to 49. We're up to 52. So I want to have a giveaway on Thursday. On the Thursday night's flights, I want to do a giveaway. I can't find any company that will even respond to me so I can get giveaway codes. So I'll probably just give away like a $20 PayPal payment to whoever so they can buy whatever they want. Because I can't get anybody to talk to me that will return my, give me information. Why? This looks like a giant snowcat went over all of it. And it's loading in slower than death. No. I was saying, yeah, I can't. The one company got back to me, the FlightAware, one of them got back to me and said they don't do gift codes, which is great. At least they got back to me. Orbix and all the others have just totally ignored the emails. Like, whatever. He only wants to buy 2 or 3 things. Let's not bother with him. It's not worth worrying about. So, I don't know. I don't know how you get them. If any of my people that watch know how the heck you get them to actually respond to you, or happen to have an email address of a customer service person or whatever that I can send a message to, I'd appreciate it. So I'd like to actually do some giveaways from time to time, but I can't get anybody to talk to me. They don't return my messages. Like I say, only one of them did, and they just, they were polite about it. They just don't have any way to have codes in their system. So, but I do know Orbix and all the others do, because everybody's constantly giving away their stuff, and they won't talk to me. I want to give away a Long Easy. Hell, I was going to buy 3 of them, to have for giveaways. Can't get anybody to respond to me. So, nobody's got. Orbix has codes, even though they're more expensive than buying at other places, but I'd pay it if they just give me codes. Allow me to buy codes instead of the product, so I can give them away. Because that's literally what I was going to give away, is Long Easies, because that's my favorite aircraft. We'll see. We'll see how things shake out. So another thing I'd like to mention on here, even though I know it's really just the 2 of us right this moment. Well, that truck was fast. It's only the 2 of us here right at the moment, but anybody replays this or zooms in or happens to watch it later, and I'll bring it up again on Thursday. I'm thinking of doing from this airport all the way down to the one in Antarctica, or at least to the southern tip of South America. Just short flights, 2 hours at the tops. I'm not going to do any marathon flights over water or any of that garbage. Just a fun little get-together. But I'm thinking of doing it every other week. And the in-between weeks doing your guys' ideas, your flights, your tours, whatever you want to do. 2 to 3 hour time period. You want to do a flight. You want to do a flight plan. You want to do a tour flight where we get on and do the, like I did last Thursday around here. You want to do something like that? Let me know. I think we do those every other week. I think that'll work out for a good schedule. And again, this Thursday will be on Thursday. The next Thursday night of flights will be on Wednesday, because I got to be at the track again on Thursday. Going to my all-time favorite track in the world, for as far as racing at and camping at, and I'm playing more spectator than working this weekend. Yeah, the Warbird one's going to be really nice. I'm excited about that. I finally pulled the trigger on the P38. Plus we got the P51. I'm thinking with the new update to Italy that will be the one that's probably on Wednesday, not Thursday. But I'm thinking the fact that, you know, Warbirds and Italy kind of go hand in hand. Italy's just been updated. And I've got a heck of a flight plan I was working on most of the day today in Italy. So I'm thinking the Warbirds hit Italy next Wednesday. Like I said, I'll be at Lime Rock Park. There will be some live streams from there now that we hit 50 plus subscribers. So I'm excited about that. I hope my shorts from the racetrack take off like the last ones did. You know, 1,400, 1,500 views was awesome. Party time, Italian style. Stripes. Oh man, what a great movie. Yeah, I can go live now that we're at 50 subs. Sergeant Hawkle with the big toes going to see how far he can shove it up your ass. I love that movie. So there'll be some live streams from the track. I'm partially working the weekend. I got a buddy who I normally race with a lot. He's going to be there and needs a hand for a couple of minutes each day while he's on track. There's somebody to monitor the pit wall in case he has an issue. His regular crew aren't going to be there, but his one crew guy has like no over-the-wall experience. So I'll just be filling in for the... And odds are he won't have any issues, but I'll be there in case he does. And it's my one of the 2 races a year where I just go and camp and hang out with friends and spectate, and actually don't work a hell of a lot. Of course, I say that, and every year I get sucked into working for one team or another. Like the IMSA race I go to every year. And then every year when I get there, one of my buddies that races and hits me up. Hey, you're here. Good. We need to do this. We need somebody for that. It's like, yeah, great. It's supposed to be one of my vacation weekends. just camping, trackside, eating a lot of food, enjoying a lot of company. I may shut the live weather off because this terrain is horrid with the snow, the way it generates the snow. It just looks terrible. Going to the racetrack Lime Rock Park. It's the second oldest racetrack in the United States and the oldest still using the original configuration. It's a 1.5 mile track. It's a real short little track. It's 1.5 miles. They call it the bull ring. It's only got one left-hand turn and like 9 rights. Now I got to count them. 1, 2. 7 rights. 7 right-hand turns and 1 left. Yeah, it is an iRacing. If you're in iRacing, tell you what, if you're in iRacing, you'll know where there's a chicane that splits off from the main track. You got the main track and then you got the chicane that goes up the hill. Right where that chicane splits, if you look up on the right, it goes uphill and there's... Right there is where I set up. Right there is where we set up a 20 by 30 hospitality tent. The group of us have been going there for a very long time. I've only been going like 12 years, 13 years. My buddy there we team up with, he's been going for 40 some years, since his dad used to bring him there. So we go and we set up there. We set up a big 20 by 30 hospitality tent, free for anybody who wants to stop by. We usually have water, beer, keg on tap. I obviously don't drink, but we have a keg on tap. We usually have cool liquors, especially to the July race. You know, we'll give away tons of water. If you're ever at the track and want to stop by for a drink, it's on the house. I'll take care of it. It's all good. Have some lunch, some breakfast if you drink too much the night before. It's funny because this weekend what we usually do is we'll have the whole day of racing while we're there, because Lime Rock Racetrack is against the law. It's actually against the law to race on Sundays. And what we'll end up doing is, on Sunday happens to be the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, and the Coca-Cola 600. They're all on Memorial Day weekend, Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. We have a 60-inch TV, and we live stream all 3 races. And people have gotten to know we do that, so on that Sunday, people, because there's no racing on the track, people start bringing food and drinks and their chairs, and we fill that 20 by 30 tent with people and food and beer and mixed drinks, and they just have a blast. It's such a fun thing. We've had the race announcer there that announces the races for Trans Am. We've had the Trans Am owner there. We usually have we've had the new owner of the racetrack, Lime Rock Park, there. So it's quite a. We have several drivers that we know come up and hang out for the day on Sunday. A couple of team owners show up. It becomes quite an event. It's a lot of fun. Did you happen to see the report, the early reports on that Chinese 737 that took the nosedive into the hillside? That it was. They haven't released all the stuff, but the preliminary is that somebody pushed the controls down in the cockpit. It looks like, and I was saying that from the start. If you fly in these jets enough, you know it's how hard it is to go straight down. And then 30,000 feet, the plane wants to level itself back out. It'll do it on its own if you have no input whatsoever. Somebody flew that plane into the ground. It's just too bad. They did suspend the license of those two clowns from Red Bull who decided to trade planes, and despite the FAA denying their request for permission to do it, they did it anyways, and now they're not flying anymore. I think that's most of the flying news for the week. That'll be cool. I don't have iRacing. I've had it, but yeah, they think early speculation is, I mean, they can tell by the controls, the inputs, that somebody pushed the stick forward. They on the data recorder, that the stick was pushed forward. And now they're figuring the one guy may have knocked the other pilot out, dove over to the ground. The other pilot woke up, and that's when they came out of it for a second. And the other pilot hit it or did something to incapacitate the other pilot again and finished flying it into the ground. I said that right away because planes don't go straight down. They don't like to. Not steady like that. They're getting a flat spin. They're getting a spin, and then they'll spin their way in. But boy, they usually really don't go wing stable straight into the ground. You have to force them to do that. Yeah, that's exactly right. The air over the top of the wing will bring your nose up. You literally have to fly them into the damn ground. I'm also thinking of after race season's over, October, doing Minecraft Mondays. Just see if I can get back into playing Minecraft. I kind of burned out this year on it and didn't play it at all. Played a little bit. Started a base, started a server with a bunch of friends, and every one of us just quit. Good morning. How are you? Xenon Zolik. I think I got that right, or close. Good morning, good evening for me. Hope you're well. So far, I blew around Italy and checked out some castles and stuff, and it looked really good. It's been smooth. I haven't had any issues. It actually updated smooth, no hiccups. It was a lot smaller, and their servers downloaded a lot faster than they have lately. I'll put your name with your in-game name versus your regular name one of these days. So Icarus said it. Your IGN will be different. So I did some flying around planning for next week's flight in Italy, and it came out very nice. A lot of the castles are really cool to go check out. Of course, being the race nut I am going to have to, either later tonight or tomorrow morning sometime, I'm going to have to go check out Monza, and my mind just drew a total blank on the one at Ferrari, its headquarters there, the racetracks. And see if they got rendered in high def, if they've even bothered to do the racetracks. Yeah, no problems, none. I haven't had a CTD yet. Things are flying good. I've flown around most of the day with it. It loaded fine. The only thing is, you have to remember, it's crazy. You have to... First, you have to load the update. But you don't actually have to get it from the They change it every freaking time. This time, it doesn't show in the Microsoft Store. It shows on startup, and then you do that one, and then you got to go into the and buy it, even though it's free. You got to go in and select it, buy it, and download it from there. But it all went very slick and smooth. The only thing I haven't tried to see if the nose wheel's working on the F-18 yet again. Oh, you're on Steam? Okay. Well, I'm just not sure how it loads that way then. I have to say, when Steam first came out, I was very skeptical of it and wanted to buy everything not on Steam. Now I kind of wish everything I had was on Steam. Just because I like having everything in one area where I can just, oh, there's an update, there's an update. Click here to play. Everything's in one spot. I like it. It's a strange looking land up here. Oh, looks like giant concrete pillows. Where the hell? There's that Chris. He's up above me at 10,000. Did y'all, either of you guys watch any of the oh, that stinks. The one in game was great, and you would think with the Top Gun update coming out next week, they would have not screwed the jet up. I think somebody would have tested it before they published an update that broke a plane that's a very major part of their. I wonder, they're saying that, they said originally that was supposed to be free. I'm waiting to see what we get. Just as long as I don't have Tom Cruise talking to me in the game, I'll be fine. No, I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise at all. I don't hide that. He's like 5'1". He's a jerk. It's funny. I bought Reno and I bought the whole pack, but I literally bought it for the planes. I literally don't regret buying it because I used the hell out of the L-39s, and I love the extra pit specials because I like to practice real aerobatics and having a P-51 in game. So I bought the aircraft. I think I've flown the actual Reno air races twice. Actually, I know it's only been twice. I didn't think I know. I've flown it twice. Once in the pits and once in an L-39. And that's it. That's all I've ever been in it. So I'm happy to get all the aircraft. But as far as the actual And now apparently it is like a ghost town. Now you can't find a full group of aircraft to fly because nobody flies it. It was like apparently a very large flop. So you probably missed out earlier. I told Icarus on here that one of the things I want to do is every other Thursday I want to do your guys' flight plans, or Tuesdays, not Thursdays. Every other Tuesday I want to do the TBM flights every other Tuesday, and in between I want to do whatever you guys want to do. If you guys want to do a tour flight around your town and come on and talk about it, or if you just want to do a flight plan that you put together, you know, as long as it's under 3 hours, that's what every other Tuesday is going to be, I think. Uh-oh, autopilot's off. He's going back down on the deck. And you be careful to get too low today because this is all sea ice. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to win and get penalized too easy for getting too high. And then there's people who just played it hours on end, so there was no way you were ever going to beat them anyways. I think one of the things they messed up on when they came out with it is they should have been able to say, you should have been able to go in there with a group of people that were your friends, and only your friends, nobody else. You know, if you got 5 or 6 you want to go race, or even 3 or 4 you want to go race, you should have been able to go race together as a group, not hopefully you get the same room. They should have been able to say, all right, we're in a group, we want to go, we can fly. That lander's in water. Can't tell if that's sea ice breaking up in the water. There you go. Yeah, exactly. I know the guys, a lot of the guys, well, the New England region racing SCCA group I'm with, they have their own server for iRacing. And what's really funny is the guys that race the Formula V cars in real life race the Formula Vs in iRacing in the wintertime, and they have their own, they pay for their own server, they have, it's closed to just them. So, you know, that's got a great ability to do that, which they really should have done with the Reno Air Race. I wouldn't race a Formula V if you paid me. But I'll tell you what happened. This is a true story, happened 2 weeks ago when we were at the racetrack. A Miata come around the corner, on the last corner, coming on the main straight. Blew his motor, dumped oil all over the track. And that Miata and 3 others went into the tire barriers and the wall and absolutely destroyed all 3 of them. All 3 of them totally destroyed right off. You know, they're gone. They have to be cut up and used for parts for another race car. They were absolutely destroyed. Like 2 races later, Formula V comes around that corner, hits that oil spot straight into the same tire barrier. And as soon as they pulled them out from underneath all the tires, well, they did red flag the track, but they were all in one big pack, Miatas. They all run together. But that Formula V when the Formula V hit the tire wall, they pulled him out from underneath the tires. He drove back to the pits. He didn't even rip a wheel off that thing. A low wheel car. It was tough as nails. It hit the same spot. Absolutely destroyed 3 Miatas. But that Formula V, keep right on going. Once they pulled him out from underneath the tires. They're tough little cars, but man, that tire's only like 4 inches wide, 5 inches wide tops. You know, that's a narrow little tire on a car that. But come on, man, it's got 50, 60-year-old drum brakes off a Volkswagen Bug on a race car. Skinny little tires, drum brakes, Volkswagen motor. I mean, they're no frills. No, they're all down to the driver. I mean, they really are a race series that's down to the driver. As it last season, they allowed the Formula Vs to start going to this disc brake because there's no company left in the world making parts for the old ones. So as they break them, they have to replace them with or wear out the pads. They have to switch over to a disc brake system. I work once a year out of Formula Ford, which is a step up from that. It's got that 4-cylinder, made about the same time frame. No downforce, open wheel, fairly skinny tires. No, they went and adapted a new, because there was no drum that size and that weight. And they adapted a new disc brake, and the disc brake was designed in such a way that it's a very small contact pad so that it really mimics the braking of the drum brake. If that makes sense. Like the stopping distance is virtually the same between the two. But I like the Formula Fords a little faster. And the car I work on is older than I am. And I'm the youngest one on the crew. And call it four old guys racing. The oldest guy's just turned 75. I'm the youngest. I have to say, it's a good thing I'm not in charge of the Formula One. I'd park that Lewis Hamilton. I'd say, look, either Joey comes out or you don't race. It's a rule. You can't just break the ones you don't like. Ignore the ones you don't like. You get to ignore it. No. Just because I'm your 7-time. What age am I? 53. Like, Lewis Hamilton. I'm 7-time world champion, so I can break any rule I want. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no. I'd park your ass. I mean, I hate the rules we have to race by. I hate having a restrictor plate in our car. I hate it. Can't stand it. Gotta have it. Can't take it out. Could, but we'd get parked if we did. 53, and I've been gaming since I was 12. Think about that. I've been gaming for 42 years. 41 years. Holy Christ. That's a long time to play computer games. I can't stand stages in my or nap car. Nope, nope, nope. That's the silliest thing I ever heard of. We're over Greenland now. We're definitely out of Canadian airspace. I love it when you slide the map when you're this far north. It looks like you're zooming out. You're just sliding it up and down. You got the curve of the. All right, that's just so playing with it. But see, we're all old farts. See that? Oh dear Lord, how's your fuel? Having your gear down the whole time. My fuel's not doing so great, and I'm not even trimmed out. It should be. I'm only at 90% throttle, 86% total. Took off of 50% fuel. That should be good. Yeah, man. Tell you, I read an article, especially at 68. You'll appreciate this. And it makes sense. Yeah, you know as well as all of us older blokes do, is that the older you get, the faster time goes. I don't give a shit what everybody says. It goes faster and faster and faster and faster. Well, I read an article. The scientist thinks he's figured out why it goes faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And the way he explained it is, when you're 5, oh man, happy birthday day early. We'll have to have a party for you on Thursday stream. But when you're 5, that year is only 1/5 of your life. So it's a good, huge portion of your life. When you're 50, a year is only 1/50th of your life. So you compare it to your life as a whole. That's why, 75, it's 1/75th of your life. That's why it seems to go faster and faster and faster. Oh, totally unrelated trivia for the day. Yeah, for many, many years, I only had anniversaries of my 20th. That's how I handled that. I had my 30th anniversary of my 20th, so this is my 34th anniversary of my 20th this year. I was an idiot. I think I'm going to be in the yellow before we land on my fuel, but I still have enough to get there. I forgot to pad my tanks before I did it. Oh well. Best part about the sim, you screw up, you hit reset. In real life, you screw up, you die. Or you have a very bad day. So what's the next aircraft in the series that a legend, local legend series? Is there one for Italy, or is that the GB? Anybody happen to see which one's coming out for that? I looked everywhere online today and I couldn't find anything that said what aircraft it was. Crab pots are ahead or small boats? I don't know, I have boats shut off. Yeah, usually they say it now, we're having this aircraft or that aircraft. I've seen nothing. Because usually it's a good buy on an aircraft too. It's usually like $15 US. So it's usually like a relatively inexpensive aircraft that's well fleshed out. Heck of a lot better than 75. The 737 that costs more than the game. Sim, whatever. one aircraft costs you more than the entire sim did. And it's funny there because for like 2 weeks, everybody flew the Concorde. Every streamer out there, Concorde. For 2 weeks, all of a sudden 737 comes out. Now it's 737 for 2 weeks. I would never use it. The closest thing I fly to a big jet is the Cessna Citation. That's it. I miss the F-16s. Used to hear them here every day, just about, because we have the Vermont Air Base is only 15 miles as the crow flies from here. Now we got the F-35s. They're definitely louder, but I don't mind hearing them go by every day. Matter of fact, I rather enjoy going out and watching them scream over in formation. Well, I had a bowl of frozen fruit when I started this, but now I got a bowl of thawed out mush. Not that you guys needed to know that, but. So you're in southeast Taiwan. You know, the only other country I've ever been to is Canada. Supposed to go to Portugal last year, but had some heart trouble, so I put a kibosh to that last year. So hopefully I'll go back I'll be able to go this year. I've been to the Mexican border, never stepped foot in Mexico. I would love to travel more around the world, but there's so darn much to see in the U.S. as well. Well, I'm in New York, not in Vermont. I'm on the New York side. I'm only about an hour and a half from Montreal. And I go up there quite often. I hang out mostly on the West Island, Angeron Park up west, mostly because I only speak English, not French, and the West Island is all English speaking. It is a pretty drive though from Burlington. Once you get south of Burlington, start getting in the mountains, all the way down through New Hampshire. I try to go to the Montreal Formula One every year. Going this year, first year in 5 years. Because, well, 2 years in a row couldn't go across the border, and the 3 previous to that, somebody thought it'd be a great idea to schedule a race weekend on Formula One weekend. And when you have to use the race weekends to That one big long lake is Lake Champlain. It's the seventh largest lake in the United States. We actually, the last Thursday? Last Thursday we did the tour around where I'm at. That was the final lake. No, the final lake was Lake George, but where we flew underneath the bridge, that was Lake Champlain. That was the one that goes from, it actually starts just south of Montreal and goes all the way down, that far down. Yeah, I love it here. I hate the taxes. I hate our governor. Of course, that's going to be anywhere you go. You're going to hate the governor. But unfortunately, this part of New York State is run by the city, and we're different. We're different people. And I have my landing lights still on. I have my taxi lights on. We got left for distance. 133 miles, about 30 minutes, not long left. So you've traveled around a little bit. That's awesome. That probably explains the Brisbane boy, Brizzy boy. Is the Australian. Speaking of whales, when you drove down through Vermont, did you see the two whales in the middle of the farm field right along the highway? The giant whale tails. Right in Burlington, right on the outskirts of Burlington. Some artist sculpted these beautiful life-size whale tails. They look incredible. They're neat as hell. I mean, I'm not big into modern art stuff, but this guy did these beautiful, just giant life-size whale tails, and he put them in the city. And the city gave him a hard time not having the right permits, yada yada yada. And some farmer goes, "Look, I got property goes right up to the highway. I'll give you the land right there. It sets up above the highway. You can put them right there, and everybody will get to see them." And it just looks like two giant whales diving into a field. Oh, another aviation news. The girl that was killed, the young female pilot was killed by hitting that tower out in Idaho. Turns out that like 9 of the towers in that area are all too high for the FAA to be around the airport. And the company that put the tower in had the wrong lighting on it. But the company lied twice. They lied to the FAA about, oh, the tower's actually this low, and then they lied to the EPA because the tower had to be a certain height. They lied to the EPA and said the tower's actually this high, and it was actually lower than that. What a mess they're in. Oh, yeah, after 9/11, it was crazy. Before that, the border was just, where are you going? Okay, have a good day. You're an American citizen? Yep, have a good day. It used to be real easy to cross, and then they went passport to cross. Used to be just drive cross. Stop at the customs. The guy would say, "Where are you going? What's your nature?" Typical customs. And you went about your day up in Canada, or 2 or 3 days, and then come back, or a day and come back. Now you have to have passports, and it got stricter and stricter and stricter. Oh heck, I had the Canadian guy wasn't going to let me in one time because I didn't have enough money in my bank account. I didn't have enough cash on hand. Like, dude, I got thousands of dollars in my credit cards, and they work just as well as my bank card. I just didn't have the cash setting directly in my bank. And no money in your account. I don't have much after this last week. My crypto took a hit like you wouldn't believe. Oof. It'll come back. I have faith. I'm going to have to start putting my crypto into my gas tank just to drive to the store. The heck, I spent $47 putting gas in my Miata. I've never put $47 in that car ever. Or 2 years ago, I could fill the car up and get the oil change and still have money left over out of $47. A lot of travel's been cut back this year. This base we're coming into, Thule. I don't know, Thule, I think, is the only Space Force base in the United States that has a tugboat. Because it's also a deep water port, apparently. And they bring in ships. And they do a lot of early warning stuff here for missiles. They watch the skies for missiles, aircraft, and all that mess. Yeah, well, see, that's the interesting thing is like so many of the people here that, oh, I don't, you should have electric cars, you should have this, you should have that, all live in the city. I got to drive 40 miles to the grocery store. You know, and I don't have $100 to fill up an electric car, because that's about what it costs to fill one up with electric, much less buy the car to begin with. I'll bet right now that sucks go over there. This is when the U.S. proves its worthlessness. You would think if every country in the world but 5 voted that what Russia was doing was wrong, that every country but 5 should have sent in troops and said, we're stopping this shit before it gets started. Excuse my language. But you would think the world could finally reach a point in this world where we say, look, if you're going to invade another country, we're going to stop you. All is one collective voice. We will stop you. We have the technology. We have whatever it takes. We will stop you if you want to invade another country. Yeah, in Australia, it's if you live out in the middle of nowhere, you just drive. You have to. My aunt and uncle lived for a few years out in Alice Springs, Australia, and they used to joke with me that if you don't like what was in the grocery store in town, it was 1,200 miles one way and 1,400 miles the other to get to the different grocery store. I'm trying to decide if I have enough fuel to go down on the deck for this last bit of the flight. 100 miles out. 25%. They didn't have any choice but to live out there. They worked for the U.S. government. They went where they were sent. They were in Iran back in the 70s during the hostage crisis and actually got out the night before. Oh, they went wherever the government sent them. They worked for one of those alphabet organizations. CIA, NSA, FBI, one of them. To this day, they still don't talk about which one they work for. They just work for it. They also were in Russia. They were also in Russia for a while. Which is funny because to think that my aunt was possibly a spy is a riot because she's silly. You wouldn't think she could be a spy. That's probably why she made a good spy. You'd never think she would be one. They could tell you. Probably one of those. Because it's funny when my very first wife got a job at the federal prison. They had to fill out, do any of your immediate family work for the federal government? And they'd say yes. And where do they work? I just had to write in there, don't know. The investigator come over and he says, what do you mean you don't know? I said, don't know. They don't tell anybody. He said, well, I'll find out. Typical. You know, I'm important. I'm an investigator for the federal government. I'll find out. He came back. They came back into the interview and he goes, huh, the government will confirm they work for the government. That's all they'll tell me. They told you. They ain't gonna tell you. They would just confirm that they work there. They wouldn't confirm anything else. Pine Gap, yeah, that satellite tracking station down there. If that's the name of it, that's where they were. Doesn't help if I had a 15-knot headwood the whole way. But we're this far and I'm only down, I got 24% fuel left. What do you think, Icarus, down on the deck? For the last leg of this? Chasing walruses? Go down and see what's down here. Now, how come it always degenerates to this? You and I down on the deck. Oh, overspeed. Let's slow down a little. There we go. I wonder how poorly this thing would do on a low and fast flight. Got the fast part down, but I don't know how well it'd do in the snapping around some of those canyons. I have no idea where the actual ground is here. Oh, after the update? I'm an idiot. I have mine assigned on the wrong lever. I have it on the throttle lever, so when I engage them, I can't throw my throttle forward to bring them up to speed. I got to switch it over to my prop. And I've been too lazy to change it. I can't tell where the ground is out here. That's weird. Like, because it's all white, I can't, and there's no shadow right now. I fly right into the ground. How far am I off the actual line? Oh yeah, I'm heading way off of it. Yeah, I've had that happen a couple of times with updates where it just reassigns everything. Nothing is where it's supposed to be. Whoa, 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 that's a ridge. This 1,200 foot ridge, and I'm at 1,100 feet. I could see the depth on that one. Completely blank. Oh, that stinks. They got to go through and redo them all. Ugh. You know what's surprising? Is back in the day, and not too awful long ago, that any custom joystick or whatever settings you used to make, you used to be able to save off as a file. And then if anything went wrong, and you had to reset the whole game up, you just had to load that file back in. And it seems like they've done it. It's too bad they've done away with that. I gotta reset my barometric pressure. There we go. It wasn't too far off. I'm surprised they did away with that, because I can remember doing that a lot. You get your controller, do you want to save the configuration? You said yes, they would dump off a file. Oh man, it's a good thing we're landing soon. I'm out of coffee. That's not good. Oh! I almost flew into the ground looking for my cup of coffee. Looking in the bottom of my coffee cup, I flew right into the tundra. I'm looking forward to Thursday's flight. We're gonna have the L-39s up in the Alps, but it's not gonna all be down in the canyons. There's quite a few spots where we're going up over ridges, up high. Should be a blast. This is a pretty good hill here. I should knock on wood, but since I haven't had any CTDs in a couple of days, and nothing since this new update, which usually happens quite often after a new update. This is freaky terrain. It's hard to tell how low you actually are. No, almost never. You're right. It picks a different, slightly different path that it feels is a better flight path. Is that a road? I don't know. I could turn the weather off and see if it's snow or if that's just a line or a river or what that was. Don't imagine there's too much water flowing up here. Oh, one thing that happened that I should have marked it on the map, but up near this, maybe when we fly out of here, we'll have to take a loop around. There's a spot where, not far from this base, where 4 glaciers come together, and apparently it's the only place in the world where that actually happens. Where 4 glaciers merge into one. Might have to find that. Oh, I think I just cut the grass with my prop on that one. I really want to see the X-15 in here. I really want to go Mach 5. 250,000 feet in Mach 5. The thing is, I can't tell how low I actually am. Everything's just one large... Oh, there's my shadow. So I am a little higher than I think I am. Now that I say that, I'll smack into the ground. This has been a steady climb up to the middle of this. We're up over 3,500 feet. Yeah, the last little bit of even the autopilot flights, I like to get down on the deck and hand fly for a bit. That's where I like to fly. Down low, quick. It's not always quick, just sometimes even just low. This has actually hurt my eyes. Trying to just figure out where the ground is. Unless the wind changes, I think I'm going to land with a hell of a crosswind. I got 11 knot headwind right now. That was close. Every once in a while the ground changes. I can hear it actually go into ground effect. The sound of the air changes just slightly. Got a little sunlight. Oh yeah, I'm low. You look out and see your shadow's right, literally right next to you. I heard it pick up a little bit. That was a little too low. That's the only thing that gives me any kind of depth perception at all, is that my own shadow. And there's nothing out here. Not a damn thing. Oh, I'm down to 18% fuel. I'm in the yellow. This will be fun. Got a headwind. What's our distance? 38. 38 miles, 37, 38 miles, 37 miles. That should be good. Fighting headwind's not helping any. I'm up at 5,000 feet and I'm right down on the ground. That was a big hill. Look at it. It's so gradual. Yeah, I'll make it on fuel. Yeah, not the place I want to ice up this low. I probably should be gaining some altitude just so I have some spare fuel if I need it. Or not spare fuel, but spare glide slope if I need it. I just crossed into the base's airspace. Yeah, I see it too. Yep. That was my first thought. Oh, look, a valley. There's a valley. I'm low on fuel. Oh, yeah. And nothing good is going to come of this. You do know that. And the chance of icing? Looks like off. Yeah, it does. I'm going to get in so much trouble. That might be where all four glaciers come together, right here somewhere on this point. Or down this valley. I'll have to look up the information on it and find the actual point and mark it on the map next week. Or the week after. Week after. These are going to be every other week. Yeah, I know. I keep waiting to see an AT-AT or an ATST come walking by. See a little tauntaun running along the ground. I must say that last Lego Star Wars game I wasted way too much of my life on. At least flying around in this sim, you can kind of say to yourself, well, you know, if nothing else, I've learned how to fly a plane better. Playing Lego, you don't even get that satisfaction. It's like, oh well, I just wasted another 4 hours. These are actually some neat looking hills. All windswept and old, like ancient old. All worn smooth. This is supposedly also the farthest north deep water port in the hemisphere is at this airbase. Space Force base. Gotta remember they changed it. Kind of a really nice view right through here. Because of flying like this, is probably a good thing I don't have a real pilot's license. And I never finished getting it. Yeah, look at that. Going right straight up and over. I'm at 15% fuel. My my plane's going to start yelling at me shortly. This place looks so old. That's just neat. It just looks so old. I got into ground effect there. I gotta get back in the cockpit. I can't fly from behind the plane. How do you people all do that? I'm not any good at it. Yeah, the wind's out of the west now. So it should be right down the runway. We come in the opposite way we could opposite what the flight plan says. And now they say that the wind switched directions again. Which way we landing? Oh, you had to pause. Oh, I forgot to turn off those silly circles. After playing around the other night. In, what was it, Hungary? That's neat. They did a great job with the free update in Hungary. Yep, free Orbix one that I Love VFR people did. Which way is the actual runway going here? Yeah, I'm sure it runs right along the coast. There'd be no other place for it. It'd be nice if I could actually see it. We're just about landing, Brett Pounds. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, isn't it beautiful up here? This is up in Greenland. This is an American military base up here in Greenland. We just left the. We started the flight up at Alert, which is the farthest north airport in the world. You see the flight? Oh, there's the airport, the runway. Yeah, landing gear. Yeah, I hear you. It's coming out. Just a minute. Not a very well marked runway. This is Thule. I can't think. What is that? BGQQ, and the other one's Alert. And I am coming in way too hot. I'll put the other flap down. There, that slowed it down. Oh, we bounced. We bounced bad. That was not a butter. Reversers on. Ooh. I can only use the reversers at idle though. Thule. Which is some old, and I'm not even sure which country. If I tell you, it'll probably. Yeah, TBMs don't like to land. They do like to fly. It was apparently some old map way back when, Roman times or Norse times, where Thule was the farthest north port that they knew of. This is the farthest north U.S. military installation, so they named it Thule to match. I suppose. Start shutting this bird down. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. Oh. I never turned my landing lights on. That's par for the course. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Xenon and Brett and Icarus. I'm going to wait for Icarus to land. And then it's definitely a pretty flight. And you have a good day, good evening, whatever it happens to be there. As soon as Icarus pulls in here and shuts down, I'm heading off to bed. And hope to see you all on Thursday, 2 days, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. We're going to be doing jets in the Alps, low and fast. Not all of it's going to be in valleys. We're climbing up over some ridges. It's going to be a blast. Yeah, so good morning to you guys. 9 o'clock at night here. I have crazy time frames because I go to bed usually between 9 and 10, and I'm up at 5. So I'm an early riser. And there he is. All right, Chris. Thanks for coming along, man. Always good to have you as a wingman. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Hope to see you all on Thursday. There is going to be a giveaway on Thursday. Pass it around. I'm still not sure what's giving away, if it's just going to be a PayPal payment if I can't get anybody. But we're going to do something Thursday to reaching 50 subscribers. So spread the word. Hope to see you then. And you all have yourselves a great evening, morning, day, and you all look out for each other.